In our current global climate, we're facing challenges never before experienced by this generation. Oppositions where no one seems to have clear directions or answers to the risks facing us. Confrontations like racial and gender unrest, political gerrymandering, toxic leadership, economic crisis, global pandemic, health threats, pre-existing medical conditions, isolation, boredom, and loneliness are driving people to desperation. As a result, people are confused, afraid, anxious, and perplexed, and they need answers to some tough questions and even tougher situations. They are looking into different outlets for answers to gain assurance and consolation. Some have drawn closer to the embrace of family, while others look more towards their friendships, education, and even religion. What we need is a fresh voice of truth and clarity, and not a stale religious echo from the past. There's a re-emerging voice on the horizon that isn't afraid to stand alone and give spiritual and mentally sound direction to a world searching for answers. G. Alfred Palmer offers a voice of sound human development and empowerment to those willing to hear. There's a need for new ideas to old principles, a perspective from a timeless origin, but with current vision, a thought leader who understands what it means to stand alone and speak truth when some are hard of hearing. But if you've been waiting to hear a voice that opens the gates of freedom and breaks the shackles of confusion to allow you to step forward into the dawning of a new and exciting future, then it's time to bridge the gap with Dr. G. Alfred Palmer. He is a dynamic speaker, thought leader, and entrepreneur, equipped to elevate, expand, and extend the development, empowerment, and leadership of his audiences. He stands ready to speak at your next event. His delivery is guaranteed to refresh, entertain, and transform. G. Alfred Palmer bridges the gap from uncertainty to the purpose, to passion, and leadership. Book him today for your next event, and you won't be disappointed.
Make things a little bit spicier because it can get kind of monotonous, and I don't like monotony. So we're trying to do some things a little bit different, add a little spice to it. Again, I need your help to subscribe, to like, to share, and hit the notification bell so that we can continue to help this channel to grow, okay? Can't do it without you. So I'm going to get rid of some of the lights now so that we can see each other a little bit better. And we'll get rid of the mic. Okay. I need this to see some things. But anyway, here we are for another session, another edition of the Red Hot Mic, where our purpose is to ruminate, elevate, and to activate. We want to do that every time we come together. I want to welcome you into this house one more time. And I'm sorry about my jacket. One of my buttons came off just as I was buttoning it up, but I'll get my tailor to put that back on here real shortly. But anyway, it's really great to have you here where you are. Tonight we're going to talk about, what do you bring to the table? I hear people talking about it so much. What do you bring to the table? We're going to talk about it tonight. Before we do, as I've started to try to do, is to bring some different fragrances to the channel, to just speak as a mark of memory to the late, or the transitioned. He's not late. He's not late. He's where he's supposed to be. Kevin Samuels, who continually helped us to understand fragrances and the importance of fragrances for us guys, because most of us we were wearing I have to admit, I was a brute guy back in the day, um, way back in the day. But I was also a uh, Axe guy, and I did a lot of other fragrances too up as I matured. But I never took it as being very serious. Um, but I think that I'm going to make that a part of what we're doing here to help elevate our awareness as men, the importance of fragrances, not only for us, but for women. Women like fragrances. They have one of the things that we need to understand about women is that they have a strong sense of smell. Yeah, they can smell that other woman. They can smell that different scent. Yeah, they can smell that. That's a part of who they are, and they're designed that way. So understand that you're not getting away with anything. She can tell. But scents are very important, and I just started picking up this particular brand. I don't know if I can say it on YouTube without getting into trouble, so I'm not going to say it. But I've been getting this particular brand for about a year now, and this brand that they sent us, they continue to send. Well, I've been paying for it, but it's a lot of different scents that I have never even looked at or even tried out until the passing of Kevin Samuels. And so I decided to add this as a part of our broadcast as a homage to him. Tonight we have a scent that is, and I'm going to read from the card. It's called Vince Camuto Terra, Terra, Terra Extreme. And it is the intoxicating aroma of luscious tonka beans is amplified, enhancing the creamy vanilla note, while the unexpected addition of an exclusive aged brown rum accord makes this daring scent not only sought after, but extraordinary, like the Terra Extreme man who lives life on the edge. Okay. All right. So this is the scent has Sicilian bergamot. It has orange flower, aged brown rum, tonka bean, and vanilla elixir. And I'm trying this on for the first time, and I can smell. Let me see what I smell. I can smell the rum. I don't know if I want to go around smelling like rum, but anyway, it's like I'm thinking alcoholic. Smelling like rum. Anyway, it's aged brown rum. I'm not sure what Sicilian bergamot is. I guess it's a fruit. It looks like. It does have a floral scent, so I guess the orange note or flower is coming through, and the vanilla elixir. So I guess it is a little different. It is a kind of it has a masculine, but yet kind of, I don't know. It's different. It's different. So, yep, that's our new scent that we're trying. We're going to try to do a scent as frequently as I get them. I get a few quite regularly. So we'll continue to do that just to share with you some scents, and then you can look at them and maybe yourself and go look at them if you like. But understand the importance of scents. Scents are very important. Now, another part that I've added to the broadcast is what I think. And after, let me see if I can find my music because I need my music. I'm a bat. There it is. And yes, there is a bad part of me, but there's a good part of me too. But anyway, what I like to do is to share a little bit. Let me change the camera. maybe you should look at making a change. Maybe. Well, when we start looking at maybe, what we have to be honest about is the conditions. The conditions we need to look at and to analyze the benefits. I like to call it a SWOT analysis: strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. What is, and you do those things to ascertain whether you should move or not. What's the strengths of moving? What's the strengths of staying where you are? What's the weaknesses of both? What opportunities do you have where you are as opposed to where you think you would like to go? What opportunities? And then lastly, what are the threats of staying where you are? Some of you have some threats, some things that you need to really get away from. People, places, things that you need to really get away from and do something different. Move to something different. So it becomes important. Maybe this is an opportunity for you to do that and move to someplace different. Maybe. Maybe is an answer that calls for introspection. And we have to look at ourselves and to distinguish what are the positives and the negatives of whatever it is. Maybe it gives us an opportunity, a lot of times people want that yes or no without question. Well, sometimes maybe comes to give you an opportunity to choose what you want. That's important to have. The opportunity to choose what you want. Well, what is it that you want? What is it that you want? Do you want to go somewhere differently? Do you want to leave where you are? Or do you want to stay? Is there more advantages to staying where you are as opposed to moving to someplace different? It's up to you. That's what maybe does. Maybe gives us an alternative. It gives us the space to choose. And a lot of times we want the universe to give us blatant answers. And the universe is saying it's a cooperative relationship. And a cooperative relationship means that you have some choices in the matter. You know what I mean? You have some choices in the matter. So when maybe comes, and it will, maybe will come, and we don't need to look at maybe as an enemy. We don't need to look at maybe as something that we need to go and try it again because we didn't get a yes or a no. Maybe gives you an opportunity. Gives you an opportunity to make the choice that you want and not to have the choice made totally for you. And the thing that you need to understand is this: that desire that you have inside, whatever way it is if it's to leave or if it's to stay, that desire that you say may be your choice is really not your choice. That particular unction, that particular feeling, that particular knowing is put there by the universe. So there is that cooperativeness and it is that directiveness as well. But you get to choose. You don't have to follow it. You can choose whatever it is that you want. And we do it all the time. We get told, we get an unction to do something, and we do the very opposite of it. I know I've done it. I've done the opposite of what the unction was telling me, or the leading, or the feeling, or the thought. I've done it. I'm sure you have too. But the bottom line is maybe. And so take advantage of that. Take advantage of just receiving and acknowledging and operating in maybe. Okay? And I was supposed to play my music. When I talk about maybe. And I didn't. So I'll just add a little bit now. It's amazing how doing this social media thing, there's positives and negatives to doing it by yourself, because you get an opportunity to be creative, that's for sure. And you don't have to worry about anyone stifling your creativity. But at the same token, you can make mistakes. And you just have to, and what I'm learning is, I'm going to make mistakes, but it's okay. It's okay. Mistakes are okay. You know, everyone makes them, and it's okay to make them as long as we don't continue to make the same ones over and over again. Anyway, I was told I've been talking like Mr. Rogers, and I'm trying not to talk like Mr. Rogers. This is who I am when I'm relaxed. This is who I am. Maybe I've got a Mr. Rogers part of me. I don't know, but this is who I am. I know a lot of times you see some of the things. Some people see some of the things that I post on some social media, and they believe that I'm a certain way, and that I'm cold and all those kinds of things. But I'm really not. Those things are to make you think, because when I put things out there, you have to know that I'm not the only one thinking that way. That thought is not just my thought; it's thoughts that's in the universe and in the atmosphere. And a lot of times, just meditating and listening to what's going on in the atmosphere, because my name is Gregory and I'm a watchman. I have to look at the horizon, and part of knowing what's going on is being able to hear. So just like I was able to hear about the question, should you move? I also hear other questions. And when I hear questions, I ask and I submit those questions. Some people don't like the way that I ask them. I don't know how you can get angry over something that I wrote. Maybe I don't punctuate it the right way or whatever. I'm not perfect, but who is? But the bottom line is, tonight we want to talk about, what do you bring to the table? Because that's the question that I'm hearing people ask over and over and over again. What do you bring to the table? And I'm of the mindset that we've got to understand what we do bring to the table. I like this music. Do you like this music? I want to turn it down so I make sure it doesn't get in the way. But if I can start it over again, I want to try to get it to start again. But I'm going to let it ride, and then I'm going to cut it off. But when it comes to talking about what do I bring to the table, I hear it asked so much on social media. I know you have too. And when it comes to relationships, people are asking that same question. What do you bring to the table? And everybody wants to know what you bring to the table as to how it benefits them. And I'm of the opinion that's the wrong way for us to be looking. That's the wrong way for us to be examining what someone brings to the table. So tonight we're going to look at what we bring to the table, but I'm going to look at it a little bit differently. I did look at this before in one of my prior videos, but I feel a need for us to continue to delve down this particular path here tonight because of what's going on, what I see on the horizon. People are selfish and looking for what you can bring them and how you can benefit them, and to see how your lives can come together to the point of how your life adds to mine. I'm a firm believer that it's more to it than that. Yeah, you really are important. You really are important. And what you bring to the table is critical. So let's look at what you bring to the table. I hear people talk about so many things that they bring to the table. I bring a well-paying job, which means you're just over broke. That's what job means. You're just over broke. And they don't know what their work is, right? They don't know, that work is awakening to our real calling. Awakening to our real calling. I know K-C-K, I know. But I like the way calling, as an acrostic. Working, W-O, working to our, or in our real calling. That's what purpose is all about. It's about your work and not about your job. Your job will always keep you just over broke. And this is the problem that I'm finding with a lot of men of color here in the United States. You know, it's difficult for you to continue to find a job as long as because you're not supposed to have a job. You're supposed to be about your work. And your work is your calling. And your calling is your purpose. And not the thing that keeps you just over broke, fulfilling the dreams of someone else and not allowing you to fulfill your own. Oh my goodness. I really enjoyed that. But we're going to turn it on. So it's important to understand the importance of your work. So you're not going to, I don't care who you are. Most men, the majority of men, especially men of color, you're going to have problems maintaining jobs because you're not supposed to be fulfilling a job, but you're supposed to be doing your work. Now, what does that mean? What does that mean? Well, you have to find purpose. You have to find purpose. And in finding purpose, you will find your work. Now, what you're looking for when you find your work, you find everything that you've been looking for. You find everything that you've been looking for. Let me share something with you. I'll be right back. I'm back. Hello, boys and girls. Anyway, you know, what we've got to understand, gentlemen, is that purpose is the reason that you're here, all of us. And what we've got to do is find purpose, because purpose provides benefits. There are benefits to purpose. And I talk about it in this book. And this book is a daily motivational book. When I was in religion, and the religious guy would call it a daily devotional. But it's a motivational book that talks about, it's called Purpose Pearls of Wisdom, Motivations and Explorations into the Benefits of Rediscovering Individual Purpose. Now, what I do in this book is I share with you benefits of purpose and what purpose provides you. And it's important to understand that purpose provides some very important things to you. Okay? And it says, on the back, it says, Purpose of Wisdoms is a compilation of the works of Dr. G. Alfred Palmer to inspire and motivate the reader toward finding, focusing, and bringing into fruition individual purpose. Come join Dr. Purposeology on this life-changing exploration, or excursion, I should say, to rediscovering the you that always was. Yeah, and that's what we do in this motivational book. We have some daily proclamations. We have some daily pearls of wisdom. We have a short meditation or prayer, and we have a famous quote. And we also give you a place where you can put some notes for that particular day. Maybe you don't want to do that. Maybe you want to get a notebook so that you can continue to use this and continue to put the insights that you get into a journal. Journaling is very important because it helps you. In journaling, what I find is, when I look back in journaling, I find the things that the way that I was thinking, and then I see the growth and the changes, and then also I see how some of the things that I said were really or wrote down were really profound, and how they really have such great meaning. So I've written several books, written a few, but this one here is the only motivational book that I've written. A lot of people ask me, well, how many books have you written? Well, A few. I have to tell you this, how it happened. I had a mentor by the name of Dr. Miles Monroe, who basically transferred to me the I believe an ability to be able to. I'm not the greatest writer, but at the same token, I'm able to speak to some things that I think that that has come from him. But at the same token, that transference that's taken place has led me to this book. I believe he wrote over 60 books. To this point, I have a little over 20, close to 30 that I've written. But not as many as him. I don't know if I'll get that far. But there's another book that I've written called The You. You Are a Leader, and it's talking about discovering the you that always was. And why am I talking about these two books? I'm talking about these two books because, gentlemen, you need to understand that you're leaders. And the place that you're going to lead is in your purpose. That's where you're going to lead. In your purpose. And that's what you need to understand that men bring to the table. But I'm going to talk about that a little bit more as we go on. I just want to talk about these books here a little bit before I proceed on. Leadership is important. But the area of leadership because people say, I don't want to be a leader. Well, I get that. You probably don't because you don't know where you're supposed to lead. Because if you understood where you're supposed to lead, you would understand that it's very natural. It's like breathing. And so the very thing that you're supposed to lead in is natural. And so it's not work. It's not a job. Let me say that. It's not a job, but it's work. It's your work. Right? Awakening to our real calling. Right? You got to wake up to it. So I'm encouraging you today to wake up to that, gentlemen, to your calling, to your work, and not to a job, because you're never going to maintain the job. They're not going to keep you. They're going to sift your gifts and your talents, and they're going to get rid of you. So what you need to do is you need to put yourself in a position to do what you're supposed to do. That's what you got to do. Because purpose will provide what you're looking for. Let me just share. Can I share one with you? Just one. I'm just going to share one with you. And this book was dedicated to Dr. Miles and Ruth Ann Monroe, Dr. Richard Pender, Lavard and Rodine and JoJo Parks, Stan Thurston, Fradhan Cooper, and Diego Santiago. These are people who had transitioned in 2014, and I believe that's when I wrote this book. I believe, and it's dedicated. It says here the greatest tragedy in life is not death, but a life without purpose. Dr. Miles Monroe, Dr. Miles Egbert Monroe, April 20th, 1954 to November 9th, 2014. That was my mentor. And so here's, this particular devotional has 31 days in it, and I just want to pick one. Let me see if I can pick one and just read it out. Let's see if we can go to this one. Let's see. Day 2. Let's go to this one. Let's go to this one. Purpose provides provision. Purpose, pearl, provision, proclamation. I'm thankful for the provision of purpose running me down. Everything and everyone needed for me to fulfill my individual purpose are drawn to me like a magnet. It guides me step by step and inch by inch toward completion of my ultimate goal, my purpose. Every physical, mental, spiritual, financial, social, and material needed has already been favorably granted to me. Do you hear that? The very thing that you're looking for, is in your purpose. I can go on reading this whole thing here, but this is not where I'm supposed to be doing it. I don't know why I get all over here. Anyway, I want to share that with you. I'm going to share some more of this on the Purpose Sphere broadcast. You need to get this book, and you can go to gapalmer.com and get yourself a copy. And it's important for you to know the very things that you're looking for is not found in your education. It's not found in your degrees. It's not found in your job. It's found in your work. You need to find your work. Now, the thing you need to understand is this: as long as you have breath in your body, you still are eligible to find your work. That's what's important. You can still find your work. And you should find your work. So you don't have to worry, am I too old? There are people a lot older than you that found their purpose. Colonel Sanders was 75 when he found his purpose. There are people that find purpose late in life. So it doesn't matter your age with regard to purpose. Okay? So let's talk about, I'm talking about purpose because it's what's in me. But let's talk about what you bring to the table. How to become an extraordinary person. How to become an extraordinary person. You know, a lot of times we're looking at what other people bring to the table, again, because we were looking at how they can benefit us. They're looking at how they can benefit, how you can benefit them. Right? So what we've got to learn how to do is, that's what we need to do, actually. We need to look at how we can benefit others as opposed to how people can benefit us. Because benefiting us is not what's going to really catapult us in the area that we need to be in. Because a lot of times people want to come to you and they're not really supposed to be there. But if you're not focused in on purpose, knowing what you're supposed to do, you'll have problems. Now, let me shift a little bit because I want to share a little bit about a lot of times when we start talking about what somebody brings to the table, what we're failing to understand is this. That question is really steeped in our human development processes. It really is. And until we understand human development, we'll never really understand the answer to that question. So often I hear people, and I've heard people and certain content creators ask the question, what do you bring to the table? I've seen the question asked a myriad of different ways by a lot of different folks, even in my life, even in my work. What do you bring to the table? What table? See, we have this idea that a table is somewhere where we're supposed, eat? I don't know. What is the table for? What is the purpose of the table? Well, tables are to sit things on, right? You put things on tables. You eat on tables. You write on tables. You write on paper, but you use tables. What do you mean table? When you say, what do you bring to the table? What you're literally saying, what are you bringing that would benefit me? That's what you really want to know. How can you benefit me? And I'm going to say some things that may upset some people. But the bottom line is, the truth of the matter is, women are here for men. You may not like that. Women are here for men. And I don't say that to denigrate you, but it's to show how important you are. A man can't be fulfilled without you. Without you understanding who you are. Well, let's talk about it. let's talk about it. I'll get to that some more. What when we start asking what do they bring to the table, okay? Actually, what we want to know is, okay, the first thing we need to know is what we bring to the table. Okay. Now, when we start talking about it from a developmental standpoint, okay, first of all, there's 3 stages in human development. We come with masculinity, we come as a boy, right? Then we matriculate to malehood, and then hopefully to manhood, right? Then when the feminine comes into this realm through femininity, they come as a girl, and they matriculate to femalehood, and then hopefully to womanhood. Okay. Now, in those particular stages of development, there are what I call 8 stages of masculine and feminine development. Okay, there's human development, and then there's masculine and feminine development. Okay. Now, in masculine, when we start talking about the elements of masculine and feminine development, there's 8 areas that we talk about. We talk about mental, cognitive, psychological, physiological, philosophical, emotional, intellectual, and chronological. And each of the 3 stages have these 7 sub-stages or elements under each one. Because in boyhood, there's 7, and you have to develop in those areas to move on to the next phase, which is malehood. You have to develop in those phases again, those elements again, to move on to manhood, okay? And you develop in those stages again before you move into elderhood, okay? So it's important for us to understand that these particular elements, concepts, stages, paradigms are very important to how we operate, okay? And there are very telltale signs in each developmental stage that is very, very important. That's what I'm going to talk about a little bit in this particular presentation, this broadcast. We have to understand that when we become a male, there's some key characteristics that follow us. And these key characteristics can be positive, but can also be negative depending on our masculine and feminine development. Because these stages have characteristics. The 3 stages have characteristics. And within the characteristics, we are supposed to, what helps us to grow and develop are the elements of masculine and feminine development. And what happens is we don't develop in those 8 areas. And as a result, the characteristics that are most pronounced seem to come out more negative than positive. For instance, when we look at what a male brings to the table, again, remember, a male is not a man. A male is not a man. A male is a male, right? An alpha male, a beta male, or delta male, or a metrosexual male, whatever you want, they're still males. They are not fully developed, and which means they have not fully developed in the 8 areas that we talked about, right? They haven't developed in those areas, and because of that, they will lack in certain areas. And what you'll see is when a male operates, what he's going to bring to the table relationally, because he lacks the development, some of the key characteristics he's going to bring vigor. Vigor is strength. He's going to bring force. He's going to bring the masculinity, right? He's going to bring that. And that vigor or force, which is not developed through the stages of development, or the masculine and feminine development, he will be misogynistic. He will be misogynistic. He will be a chauvinist. Or he may be a simp. We're going to talk about a simp a little bit later. We'll talk about it later. But that he will have either too much force or not enough force. You meet a male that doesn't have enough force, and you say, well, he doesn't have enough. Yeah, because he doesn't have the masculine development necessary to understand how that vigor and how that force is supposed to be used by a male, because he hasn't been taught as a male how to matriculate, how to implement and develop that vigor, that force, to be able to matriculate to manhood. Okay, so that force, because he doesn't have the right development in his masculinity, he's going to be violent, because he's going to use power, that power which is strength and energy, power. He's going to use it. He's going to abuse it, which is going to come out as violence, or the inability. See, because it's alpha. In the middle you have the metro, and at the other end you have the beta, but still males, because they failed to develop masculinity. And to do that, they need masculine men. That's where fathers come in. Father, your responsibility is to help your son, your boy, matriculate from boyhood to malehood, from malehood to manhood. That's our assignment as fathers. You have other assignments, but as a father, you are responsible for teaching your boy the stages and the elements. That's your job. But when we don't do what we're supposed to do, because we're not in the home for whatever reasons, I'm not blaming anyone, but the bottom line is you're not in the home, but you still could do some things with your son. And you should. All things being allowed, right? You can only do what you're allowed to do, or even what's received. Sometimes your son won't receive you because of what's happened. You can only do what you can do. And if you can't do it for your son, what you can do is try to help other people, because there are sons out there that need help, right? Especially ones where the mothers have not been able to find mates, right? Okay, so when what males bring to the table, they bring vigor, they bring power, and they bring the next thing is winning. They want to win. And that's one of the things males want to do, is win. They want it, and to win, there has to be a victim. Whatever they're going to do, there's going to be some victimization. Why? Because I want to win. And they learn that through sports, through competition, right? And so what a male will bring is the desire to win, but the also being willing to do whatever he has to win. And that means making you a victim. You will be that if it means I don't get the win, right? So this is what males bring to the table. Just to mention just a couple. There's other things, but I'm just going to stop there because I have a long way to go and other things to share. So what does a male bring to the table? He brings those kinds of things because he's not developed. Those are not positive traits. They're positive in themselves, but the carrying out of them, the execution of them, isn't positive because they haven't been properly taught. So anything that you haven't been properly taught to implement, you will abuse or abnormally use it. That's with anything. If you don't know a hammer is to be used as a hammer, you will abuse it. If you don't know a chair is meant to sit in, you will abnormally use it. Right? Okay. So that's what the kinds of things that males bring. So you're looking for males to bring some things that he's just not capable of bringing because he's not developed. He has not been developed. So looking for those things is a mistake. Ladies, looking for manhood qualities or looking for a man in a male is a mistake. You think he's a man, but he's not. You can tell in the way that he goes about his business that he's not a man. He's a male. You can tell in the way he goes about his business, the way he talks, the way he dressed, the way he goes, his work or lack of work. And when I say work, I'm talking about purpose. Okay? Or lack of purpose. When a man doesn't know purpose, he has no work. But even and it goes back to what I was sharing before, the whole idea of a job. He may have a job, but the job, depending on who he is, will be requisite on what he's going to be compensated, and how long he's going to be compensated. Because people will steal. We know that. We know that people of color have been robbed from a lot of things and not given proper credit and proper compensation. That's why you'll find a high level of unemployment among men of color, males of color, boys of color. The bottom line is, it's the same problem that it's always been. It's nothing different. Okay? And I'm not saying that to cause, problems. It's just the truth. And the truth that will set you free. Okay? So those are some of the qualities. There's others, but I just want to just tap into it so that you understand that there are qualities that this male has, and this is what you see in a lot of people as being potential. You see the force, the power, and the need for winning as being potential. I see potential in him. But because he lacks the development, that potential comes out as vigor, violence, and victimization. He needs to be taught. He needs to be mentored. He needs a father that would, and that is someone who has gone through the proper stages of human development and through the elements of masculine and feminine development. Okay, so males. Now let's look at what men bring to the table, because a man is different than a male. Always remember that, ladies. If you know that a man is different than a male, you'll know right off the bat the difference. Because here's the difference. What men will bring to the table, the number one thing that a man will bring to the table is vision. That's the first thing I hear people say, well, what do you see? Where do you see yourself in 5 or 10 years? That is a vision question. That's a vision question. And I'm sure most ladies did not know that was a vision question. In other words, what you're asking him is, what do you see? What do you see? What do you see for you? And see, that's what's important. And if he can't articulate that, he has no vision. He has no vision. And see, the more specific question is, what's your vision? for your life? Because let me tell you, men, you have a vision, and that vision has been with you since you were a child. That's what you continue to see it and see it and see it throughout your life. That's vision. That's the very thing that you're supposed to be doing. That's your work. Awakening to our real calling. Because the bottom line is that job just over broke, they're not going to keep you. They're not going to keep you. So you need to be finding what your call is and what you're supposed to be doing and get busy, because that's your business. Business actually means your busyness. And your busyness is supposed to be your work. And your business is not your busyness for someone else and doing their business. Oh, somebody don't hear me, but you need to hear me. So your business is your work, and your work is purpose. And what we do is help you find it on Purpose Sphere, the other channel. Okay? So I can't say enough about vision. Men, you got to have vision. Because vision governs your life. It establishes boundaries. It distinguishes the difference between that which is good and that which is right. It's important. Vision. You need to connect with what you see and what you've been seeing. I said this before. Let me say this one more time. I need you to help me spread the word by subscribing, liking, sharing, and hitting the notification bell. Would you do that right now? I'll wait. I'll let you do it right now. Thank you. I appreciate it. And I want to take a moment while I'm thinking about it. As a member of the armed forces, I want to take this moment as it being Memorial Day and to recognize those that have given the ultimate sacrifice for the betterment of this country. And there are still men and women that are still today giving that ultimate sacrifice and coming back to a country that doesn't have gratitude for what they sacrificed. Or, Memorial Day is about those that have given the ultimate sacrifice, which is their life. But I'm talking more for those veterans or Veterans Day when they come back and they're not even recognized. We wouldn't be where we are if it wasn't for veterans or those that have paid the ultimate sacrifice. Anyway, so back on task. I had to recognize them. It's necessary. It's necessary. So what else do men bring to the table? They bring vision. The next thing they bring is value. Value. You know, so many people have no value because they don't understand what value is. What are your values? Value is the things that you value. What is your values? What do you value? What's important? A man brings value. Now, the value that he brings varies because of who he is. But he's got to know his value. And he's got to know the value that he brings in order for him to give that value to others. If he doesn't know his value, he cannot give that value to other people. He can't. Because he hasn't ascertained it yet. You've got to know where your value is. And your value you can't know until you know where your purpose is. What's important to you? What's important to you? Really important. No, not what you tell people what's important, what you value. But what do you really value? Many guys don't know what they value. Males don't know what they value because they haven't been developed to understand the importance of valuing and value systems and purpose. So they don't know. They don't know value. So what we try to do is to help you understand your value. Because that's what you bring to the table. Your value. Your value. Right? And until you know what your value is, you say, oh, I bring $50,000 job, $100,000 job a year. I have a house. I have 2 cars. And you think that that's value. That's not value. That's material. True value is not in material. True value comes from the essence, from the inside, comes from purpose, and purpose provides everything that you need. So then you understand how to have true value in yourself and in things that are around you. So your value is not in accoutrement. It's not in stuff. It's not in things. That's not value. If you value those things, and that's what we do, we think that true value of a person is what they have. Money. It's not value. Money is paper. It's paper. Paper that we esteem value to based on what's on the paper. And so that's what becomes important to us. That's shallow. That really is shallow. I get it. We need money. We need money to move about in this sphere. But do we really? I would rather have accessibility than money. Access than money. Because you can have money and not have access. But you can have access and not have a lot of money. Access is granted, access is granted by favor. You have favor, so it gains you access. And favor that you have, real favor, isn't something that you can put a price on. You can't obtain it through accoutrement. You can't. Okay? Value. Okay. So men have vision, value, and valor. Number 3, valor. What is valor? Valor is a man who has the ability to understand what's worth fighting for and what's worth not. Many of us, and this is what's happening right now around the country. There are males who don't understand the concept of valor, and they're allowing undisciplined females to put them in positions where it's costing them their lives. And then she gets her boyfriend to go do harm to someone for whatever reason, and he does harm to the individual, and the individual is hurt or killed, and so his life is gone, and then the person who's done it, his life is gone because he's going to jail, and it's because of an undisciplined female who's put you in a position because you don't understand what true valor is. And then what does the undisciplined female go and do? Find another simp who will do the same thing, who doesn't understand valor. Valor doesn't allow anyone to put them in any kind of situation, but he understands what he is, what is the thing that he's going to fight for and what he won't. He already knows where the line is drawn in the sand for him. He doesn't need anyone to draw the line in the sand for him. He already knows, and he knows that when someone steps across, there is something that he will stand up and be counted. Valor is doing that thing that needs to be done when it needs to be done, even though you may not say, well, I don't know if this is, I don't want to do this, but it's valor says that, I have to do it anyway. But it's something that you know that you have to do. I don't want to, but I have to. That's what valor is. And if someone is pushing your button and putting batteries up in your back to do something, that's not valor. That's stupidity. And if that person thinks your manhood is that you're not a man because they can't push you into doing, then they don't understand who you are. You shouldn't be with that person around those type of folks anyway. Men don't do that. Men establish boundaries, and they won't allow people to push them and push their buttons. Men don't do that. So, whereas a male is vigor, violence, and victimization, men is vision, value, and valor. That's what men bring to the table, and that's what males bring to the table. Now, let's move on. What do they want you to bring? Okay? Let's look at males. What does a male want you to bring, ladies? What does he want you to bring? The first thing that he wants you to bring is sex. You know that. He wants you to bring sex. Do we need to go any further about that? Males are sexually dominated and controlled individuals. Nothing wrong with sex, but when sex dominates you and all that you do is have sex and everything that you do is about having sex, then what you have failed to do, you have failed to matriculate from malehood to manhood. Okay? So sex, that's what he wants you to bring to the table. He's going to want sex regularly and often. The next thing he's going to want from you is submission. Now, this is the thing that people are fighting about right now, and you hear it all over social media, everywhere, the whole issue of submission. Submission. She needs to submit to me. I'm not submitting to him because this, that, and the other. And the truth of the matter is, she shouldn't submit to you. A woman should not submit to a male. No. You submit to a man, but you don't submit to males. What is submission? See, what we've done is we made submission. The caveat to submission is gender. If you're a male, then you think that she's supposed to submit to you, or you are female and you're supposed to submit to the male. It's about gender. Submission is determined by gender. No, it's not. No. True submission is not a male paradigm. Submission really for men, or I should say for the male, is something that he's going to develop into as a man. To understand that submission is not about gender, it's about that which is right. Not that which is good, but that which is right. And that which is right has no gender. Truth is just that, truth. And it has no gender. Now, what we have to do is learn to submit to truth, not gender. How do we do that? How do we submit to truth? You got to find it first. And there's a way to find truth. There's a way to find truth. Okay. So, sex. Males want you to bring to the table. They want you to bring sex. Next is submission. And then the last thing is servitude. They want to be served. They want to be served. Okay? All right. We know what servitude is. You know that they want you to do what they want you to do when they want you to do it. And that's connected to submission, isn't it? I want my meal cooked. I want my food on the table when I get in. But a woman understands that he's worked hard and he's going out there, and I understand the trials and tribulations that he has to face on a daily basis. And him having a hot meal is important to him. Maybe it's not important to him, but if it is, she wants to make sure he has it. That's what women do, but not females. I'm hungry. I'm going to eat. You can eat what I eat. Okay? That's when we have a problem from our ladies. But servitude, sex, submission, servitude. That's what males want. They want you to serve them. Okay? But let's flip on the other side of the ledger and look at what men want from you. What men want from you. And if you can't understand this, men, you should. This is what you should be looking for. The first thing is you should be looking for purpose. You should be looking for the yin to your yang. The positive, the negative to your positive, the positive to your negative. The feminine to your masculine. That's what you should be looking for. That's what you should be looking for. Someone that can catch your vision. Someone that can catch your vision. If she doesn't catch your vision, she's not meant for you. Now, this thought came to me, and it's not a criticism, it's an observation. Kevin Samuels. I believe Kevin Samuels was a man of purpose. I believe that. You don't have to agree with me. You can think whatever you want about Kevin Samuels. I think Kevin Samuels was a man that found purpose and was operating in purpose. But here's what I think, and I could be wrong. I'm just saying this is what came to me concerning Kevin Samuels. I believe that Kevin Samuels, a man who found purpose, did not find the feminine, the yin to his yang, the negative to his positive, the positive to his negative. He didn't find the feminine to his masculine. And as a result of it, it took a toll on him. I believe that, and I don't know. All I can say is this is what I surmise. Could be totally wrong off base, but this is what I surmise. That's why she's important. You need her. You need her. You need her. That's the yin to your yang. You need her. And how do you find her? You can't find her until you find you. You can't find her until you find the you that always was. That's purpose. You can't find her. You'll be drawn by physical. You'll be drawn by 2 of the 8 elements of masculine development. You'll be drawn to her chronologically and physiologically. You're looking at lips, tips, and fingertips. Her lips, hips, and fingertips. That's what I'm looking for. Lips, hips, and fingertips. You'll be looking for that, And that's going to be what draws you to her. And she could be the worst thing on earth. She could be the one causing you to abort your vision as rather than giving birth to it. Yeah. So the next thing, but beyond purpose, that a man wants, he wants planning from you. Here's why it's important to find a yin to your yang. Women are designed to be planners and to be executors and to be strategists. That's what she's designed to be. This is important, gentlemen. This is important. She's a planner. If she's a woman, she's a planner. Some bug here. If she's a woman, she's a planner. She will plan things, whether it's your trips, your vacations, how to do this, that, and the other. She's a planner. You give her the vision, she'll come up with a plan, how to execute it. And so what we've got to learn how to do is to get on board, or to get someone on board with us that's going to help execute our vision. That's your problem. You're not looking for someone to help you plan, to execute. Now, she may come with her own ideas, but that's not your woman. No, the woman that you have will be the yin to your yang. Your vision, she'll see it because that's her vision, but her vision is to help fulfill that. So when a man asks you, ladies, what it is that you see yourself doing, what is your purpose? What do you see yourself doing in 5 years? Your answer should be to help fulfill the vision of my man. Because that's what makes you different than any other woman. Not every woman can fulfill his purpose. Only one can. That's why you're unique. But you don't do it just to be getting someone. You have to know that that's who you're supposed to be with. And that's the vision that you have for yourself. So you got to find vision for yourself. Men, if I would do anything, first thing I'm going to ask her is, what's your vision? What do you see? And if her vision doesn't match your vision, then you know you don't have the right one. You can have dinner, you can have become friends or whatever, however you want your relationship, you're okay with, but that's not who you're supposed to marry. Because I'm gonna tell you the truth. If she's the yin to your yang, that needs to be your mate. Because when she hooks up that close to you, there will inevitably be intimacy. And so many times that's what happens in churches and religious groups and religious organizations, because she gets so close to the vision that intimacy occurs. It is intimate to get involved and to be the yin to a yang, to be a positive to a negative, to be a feminine to a masculine. That is intimate and intimacy. And it will cause problems. And so you have to find someone that you could that and understand that yin to your yang is going to bring about intimacy. So it should be your mate. Okay, so what she needs to bring to the table, gentlemen, is purpose, right? Purpose, planning, and passion. Now I want to say something about passion. Passion. She brings passion because passion is an emotion. She is an emotional being. And because she's an emotional being, it's easy for her to bring emotional elements to the relationship. You need passion with purpose. Purpose is not passion. Purpose is not passion. I'll say it again. Purpose is not passion. Passion fuels purpose, but it is not passion. Purpose. Purpose or passion is the emotional energy to purpose, but it's not the only one. Any emotion can be a part of that emotional element that she brings to the table. She brings that element, that the emotional element that's necessary to fulfill purpose. Somebody needs to hear me. So this is what she brings. She brings purpose, planning, and passion. Purpose, planning, and passion. That's what she brings. That's what you should be looking for, gentlemen. Not lips, hips, and fingertips. But she can have those too, because the universe knows what you like. So she'll have those too, because that's a benefit of purpose. She's going to have that. At least she'll start out that way. Whether she keep it in that way or not, totally be up to her. And if she's a woman, she's going to know that that's what's important to you, and that's what she's going to want to maintain for you. And if she doesn't, it's because there's no real connection there. She doesn't really care about what you think or what you feel about what's important to you. She's not the one. She's not the one. Okay. Well, that's the masculine part. So guys, I've shared with you, ladies, I shared with you what they bring to the table and what they want you to bring to the table. Ladies, I shared with you what males bring to the table and what they want you to bring to the table, so that you can identify both and make the proper designation or selection for your life. I hope that was helpful for you, ladies. Gentlemen, I hope that was for you too, helpful for you, because you need to know what a man brings to the table and what a man is looking for her to bring to the table, and it's not what you think it is. It's these things I just outlined here. It's not it's V's and P's, but it's not the V's and P's you think. Okay. All right, so let's move on. Let's move on to see what she brings to the table. What does she bring to? Let's look at what females bring to the table. Now, this is going to be tough for some ladies. But understand there's a difference between females and women, just like there's a difference between males and men, according to Gregology, or purposeology, I should say, because it's not about Greg, it's about purpose. According to purposeology, there's a difference. There's a difference between males and females, males and men, females and women. Now, here is what she brings to the table. And it's acrostic, and it's sex. Sex. It's an acrostic. This is what she brings to the table. This is what she brings to the table. She brings seduction. This is what females bring, seduction. Now, it's not a bad thing. Women bring seduction because they, unlike the man has muscles. He has the ability to force and use force, right? he uses violence and victimization. Well, to offset that, she uses seduction. She uses seduction to protect herself, to get what she wants, and to use, and it's in a way a type of force. It is equal to his vigor, the male's vigor, that equals force. She uses seduction, which equals her force. She's able to seduce you and force you to do the very things that you wouldn't want to do. But it's not, see, the thing is this, seduction is also used for her survival. She needs to survive because she doesn't have the physical brute force to be able to do it. So she has to use what's available. Seduction. It's not to put you down, gentlemen. It's not to put you down. Not really. It's her survival. It's not about putting you down. It's about her survival, first and foremost. It could eventually be that, but it's more about her survival than anything. It's how she survives. The next one, the E, that females, and I guess the way that I can say it is, I don't emasculation. Her emasculation of the male and the man is again for her survival. Now, what this equates to is her being able to compete and to be able to compete. She can't compete with you physically, so she uses tactics to emasculate you, to level the playing field. Listen, I'm talking about females. I'm not talking about women. I'm talking about females, ladies. I'm talking about females. She's not developed to understand how to use her feminine wiles. And so the failure of knowing how to use her feminine wiles leads to her to emasculating men. A woman knows how to use her feminine wiles. She can make a man think that an idea is his, and it's when it's been hers. She knows the fragileness of a man's ego, and she knows how to feed it, but at the same time, she knows how to shape it and form it, and how to get to use and to that, and that's feminine wiles. That's the magnificence of a woman that a female does not have. She will emasculate you, not because she wants to, it's because she doesn't know how to properly use her feminine wiles to assert influence over you without denigrating you and diminishing you, because she wasn't taught. So we're not talking about and talking down to her. It again speaks to development. It again speaks to development. Right? Let me do this. Let's take a break and let's do this, and we'll be right back.
In our current global climate, we're facing challenges never before experienced by this generation. Oppositions where no one seems to have clear directions or answers to the risks facing us. Confrontations like racial and gender unrest, political gerrymandering, toxic leadership, economic crisis, global pandemic, health threats, pre-existing medical conditions, isolation, boredom, and loneliness are driving people to desperation. As a result, people are confused, afraid, anxious, and perplexed, and they need answers to some tough questions and even tougher situations. They are looking into different outlets for answers to gain assurance and consolation. Some have drawn closer to the embrace of family, while others look more towards their friendships, education, and even religion. What we need is a fresh voice of truth and clarity, and not a stale religious echo from the past. There's a re-emerging voice on the horizon that isn't afraid to stand alone and give spiritual and mentally sound direction to a world searching for answers. G. Alfred Palmer offers a voice of sound human development and empowerment to those willing to hear. There's a need for new ideas to old principles, a perspective from a timeless origin, but with current vision, a thought leader who understands what it means to stand alone and speak truth when some are hard of hearing. But if you've been waiting to hear a voice that opens the gates of freedom and breaks the shackles of confusion to allow you to step forward into the dawning of a new and exciting future, then it's time to bridge the gap with Dr. G. Alfred Palmer. He is a dynamic speaker, thought leader, and entrepreneur, equipped to elevate, expand, and extend the development, empowerment, and leadership of his audiences. He stands ready to speak at your next event. His delivery is guaranteed to refresh, entertain, and transform. G. Alfred Palmer bridges the gap from uncertainty to the purpose, to passion, and leadership. Book him today for your next event, and you won't be disappointed.
Okay, we are back. I appreciate you giving me a chance to do what I needed to do. Okay. All right. So what we're talking about here, we're talking about what she brings to the table. What she brings to the table. When we say she, we're talking about the female. What does a female bring to the table? Excuse me. And we talked about she brings sex, she brings emasculation, and the third thing she brings is extra, with an X, sensory perception. She has the ability to see and feel things. This is why we hear a lot of females say, I feel. They don't talk logic, they don't talk facts, they don't talk data, they don't talk statistics, they talk about feelings. But they have these extra sensory. They're sensory, they're in touch, that because it's again that whole idea that they are very emotionally connected to the environment, connected to everything around them, individual. So they feel. And so feelings become important. And so it's important for us to understand that their feelings are not to be discounted. Their feelings are to be included, but there needs to be equilibrium in understanding that facts, statistics, and data, along with their feelings, must be equally considered. And that really and truly her feelings are not the motivating factor. Because the motivating factor has to be data, statistics, and information, because that is the information of the universe. And that information of the universe needs to be taken into consideration by her, even though she feels a certain way about it. To say that you don't care about what statistics, data, and information says is basically saying you don't care what the universe is saying. Or You don't care what God says. You're going to do what you're going to do. Well, that's why you get the results that you do. That's why you get the results that you do. So basically, in a nutshell, a female brings to the table sex. Sex. Okay? Again, not a put down of ladies. But again, we're talking about from a developmental perspective, a human developmental perspective, and then also from a masculine and feminine development perspective, right? Okay, let's look at what women bring to the table. What does a woman bring to the table? That is really, really important, right? We talked about she brings purpose, planning, right? She brings purpose, planning, and the thing is that we don't talk a lot about is she brings prodigy. Prodigy is children, offspring. That's what a woman needs to bring prodigy. She needs to be able to have children. That is important to a man. That's what's important to a man. Okay? If she's not able to bring children, that doesn't mean that there's many ways. If a man is willing to accept that she can't have children, okay, but all things being equal, that's what he wants. Okay. So it's important that what she brings to the table is purpose. She has to bring planning, and she has to bring prodigy. Okay. Now, what does she want you to bring? Let's talk about that. What does a female want you to bring, guys? Do you know? Do you know what she expects from you? She expects submission to and through seduction. She expects that. She expects submission through seduction. Now, the words, the terms and the concepts that I'm going to use, if you take each letter, it'll spell something, and it's actually what she's looking for. The second thing she's looking for is influence. She's looking for you to bring influence. You need to be able to bring some type of influence, whether that's financial, whether that's through access or to people or influence in some shape, form, or fashion. She's looking for you to bring influence. Okay? She's looking for you to bring masculine or muscles. Basically, you have to bring that kind of and it's not just physical muscularity, but it's that vigor that she sees there's a need for it in some circumstances, which is why so many men find themselves getting in trouble with some females, because they put you in positions where it can jeopardize your freedom or your life, because she wants to make sure that she can have access to push your buttons and to use that masculinity or that muscle. More, it's really muscle, not masculinity. She wants to use that muscle, and she manipulates your muscularity and uses it. Okay? So the first thing is what? Is submission, then influence, then manipulation or muscularity, and the last thing is power. What does those words spell? That's what she wants. That's what she wants. She wants your power, and she wants you to be powerless. And she wants to use your power to accentuate herself. That's what she wants you to bring to the table. She wants you to bring a simp to the table. That's what she wants. Okay? But what does a woman want? What does a woman want? Again, I'm going to, the first letter of each word is going to spell a word at the end. So the first thing she wants is a woman wants you to bring to the table masculinity. She wants you to bring masculinity. Why masculinity? Because she wants a man. Masculinity, and see, here's the difference. There's masculine energy. When it comes into this world, it becomes masculinity. Okay? There's a difference between masculine and masculinity. We're going to talk about that again. The next thing she wants is economics. She needs to understand that you have a grasp of economics. The other thing she wants to know is that you have energy. Energy. To be able to move, to do, and to operate, to function in a way that's productive. You need money. She wants to make sure you have money and energy. And last, she wants is nuptials. So what does that spell? That's what she wants. She wants men. She doesn't want a male. She wants a man. She wants men, full grown. She wants nuptials. She wants to be married. A woman wants to be married. She does. A woman does. Females don't. Females don't. But women do. She sees a need in being married because she understands purpose and she understands the binary piece that goes along with purpose, and that with that comes intimacy. And so in order for that to help legitimize their relationship, nuptials are necessary. Okay? So there we have it. What do you bring to the table? We talked about what she brings to the table, what you bring to the table, what males and men bring to the table, what males and men want you to bring to the table, and then we talked about what she brings to the table. When we say she, we're talking about what females and women bring to the table, and then we looked at what females and women want you to bring to the table. And I hope we brought that through clearly. I'm not sure. I'm hoping that, and if not, then we'll have to do it again some other time. But I'm glad that we've had an opportunity to share with you. I have to always check because things go awry very quickly around here. And so I'm just really happy to have had the opportunity to do this with you and to share this with you. I know it's long. It's probably the longest video that I've done to this point. And I think that it's necessary. I'm hoping that we can bring some people on board and we can have some discussion as well. So we'll see how it goes. But well, that's it for tonight. Again, Purpose Pearls of Wisdom, and then You Are a Leader, Rediscovering the You That Always Was. Check them out, g8palmer.com, and we will see you the next time, and we'll go a little deeper and see what we see on the horizon. Till next time, peace.